How's it going, everyone? It's Nathan from Nathan's DIY Garage, and today is going to be the part 2 of working on this E90. Let me get my little magnet out of here. And so just to update you on the status, got this in, the valve cover is off, all the cowling was apart. Just kind of a big mess, really. Shop in New York took it apart. Probably had no idea what they were doing. But let's face it, they had no idea what they were doing. Supposedly import shop or something. Who knows? Got it in, as you can see in the last video. Number 6 had a rocker arm that was just laying in the head. So the original problem was this thing was ticking. It had been ticking for a couple years. The pre-2008 N52 had problems with the lifters, problems with the camshaft seals, that feeds the oil to the lifters and everything else. So what we're looking for today is I put the lifter back in, I cranked it over, it snapped in fine, it locked on good, the retaining ring is still on it, cranked it over with everything unhooked just to make sure it wasn't going to fall out or have a problem. All the rest of them seem to pump up good. We've reinstalled the valve cover, reinstalled the coil packs, and number 6 coil pack was, or the spark plug well is full of water, full of rainwater from having the cowl out. Took that out, got all that cleaned out. Now they've lost a bunch of the valve cover bolts. They've lost the bolts that go to the electric motor that runs the valve train. Valvetronic, you might say. I'm not sure what else they did here. It's just kind of scary starting this thing up, but we need to see if this thing's knocking. We need to see the state of the engine before we can order anything for it. Now everything's back together, none of the vanity stuff's on it, everything's just open. The valve cover is scantily put on there, good enough for testing purposes. We're gonna have to get probably, the gasket looked good. We're probably going to have to get at least a set of new bolts for the valve cover, if not a gasket and bolts. Everything else looked okay. They kind of had the bolts stripped out that hold the deal on there, the gasket onto the valve cover. So I'm not sure what in the hell's going on. Anyway, that being said, I got to snap that vacuum line on the back. And this thing is ready to start. We're going to check the oil before we do it, because knowing this shop, they probably drained the oil out. We checked the coolant. It is slightly low, but it is not bad. So let's see what we get. Okay, so here we are. We just had it running. It's burning some crap off the manifold. The valve cover is leaking a little bit here in the front. But as you can see, you can't see it on the rag, but there's water mixed with it. It's real foamy. See, look at that. Weird, huh? I'm guessing it's probably from getting rained down the engine from having the cowl out. So it probably means when I pull the filter out, it's going to be all full of goo. The valve cover gasket is pretty much junk. But we know what we need to know now. I'll start up for you guys here in just a second. And it sounds like the engine itself is good. The lifters are still loud, which on a pre-08 car, wait a minute here. What year is this thing? Let me figure this out real quick. Hold on. Manufactured 2006. So it's 2007 car. I thought it was a 2010 at first, but it's 2007. Not that it makes that much difference. So yeah, it's nice and noisy. I don't know what we are to do here. If we are to get a valve cover gasket coming, I hate to have to reuse that and reuse those aluminum bolts. It leaks too bad in the front corner here to be able to run it very long. I'll be going to show you guys though. And it just sounds kind of diesely, but it seems to be running smooth. I mean, for the most part, smooth. Let's stuff that rag in there. Let me go start it up. It's actually running rougher right now than it was earlier. You get here. With no covers on it, it really doesn't sound that much different than a lot of other ones I've heard. I better turn it off or it catches on fire or something. So yeah, no, I mean on cold start you can see a little bit of smoke coming off. It's actually not leaking back there, it's just stuff that was all over the pipe. But that'll slowly burn off. I don't know if it's worth doing lifters on or not. It kind of sounds like these all sound. A lot of guys are saying they went through the trouble, they did all the lifters in it and didn't fix it. A lot of guys did the lifters and the front cam seals that supposedly feeds oil to that didn't fix it. A lot of guys switched the head with a newer model, newer than 08. They supposedly fixed it. That didn't really fix it. They fixed it for a little bit and it came back. It seemed like the guys are having more luck with the engine flush and then running 0W40 and then an additive. So I don't know. I'm gonna get on the phone with her. We're gonna try to make a call on this and see if it was, truthfully, if it was my car, I would do a valve cover gasket, a new bolt set, probably do engine flush all that garbage out, especially now it's all full of water, change the filter, you know, run it, bring it back, drain the engine flush out, change it again with 0W40 and see. I don't know, let me get her on the phone and I'll have an answer for you guys here in just 1 second. Okay, so here's where we're at with this thing. Started up again, I stuffed the rag back in there just to catch that oil. Ran a little bit longer, it's getting quieter and quieter. It pretty much sounds normal at this point. What we're gonna do, valve cover gasket needs a new one of those. The other one was still stretched out, it barely stay in the cover. Got a Victor Rhines ordered with all new bolts. It's like 52 bucks for Victor Rhines. That should fix that dripping problem. I saw I could actually buy a oil filter locally. We're going to put the engine flush in this thing, leave this filter in it, we're going to flush it, we're going to drain it all out, and we're going to fill it up with 0W40. Apparently that's the newest thing, and maybe an additive with that. I don't know if we're going to have to need that additive or not. Probably not. It sounds good enough now, or it should be good to go. I'm going to flush for 2 reasons. A lot of guys say it fixes the tick, and also since this has rainwater and oil, it's all milky. We try to get as much of that out as we possibly can. 0W40 Mobile 1 at Walmart's like 22 bucks for 5 quarts of it. So we'll get 2 jugs of that. That'll be enough to have, and then have some extra. And that should be it. Needs like 100 bucks worth of stuff, worst case. So I found the valve cover gaskets in Tennessee. It should be here in a day or so. 2 days probably. No, in the post office, 2 weeks. I do that. We have to do a rear window regulator in this thing at some point. Well, I don't know. It's had it replaced. It doesn't work. Maybe tomorrow we'll take that apart. The hell? That's nice. Glue that back down for her. We'll take the panel off, look and see what kind of destruction somebody's done in there. This car is pretty nice interior wise. It's definitely a rare color combo. This color blue with the black leather. It's not a stick, but it's automatic. But hey, it is what it is. Definitely need some headlight buffing going on this thing. They're pretty cloudy looking. And we'll get this thing up and running and driving. We'll take it to the car wash, and get it cleaned up. I was gonna put a car cover on it to keep the sun off of it. I don't want to do that when it's that dirty. So yeah, this thing does not need $7,000. It needs about $100. And we also need to check into the water pump too. And try to get my hand in there and fill those hoses. Check the state of the water pump and all the hoses. Make sure nothing's dripping. Just some good old general maintenance. There is no check engine light. All the ABS light and stuff is on. It should go off once we take off driving it. So yeah, there we are. Looks like somebody didn't find the need to put the clamp back on by the mass airflow sensor either, so we're gonna go out of our way to check all the little stuff out. That's pretty much it, guys. I see this every day. This car doesn't need $7,000, doesn't need $1,000. If you work at a shop, you cannot change that valve cover gasket for less than $500 or $600 or $700, for less than $200. How much you gonna make off somebody? It's not that hard. There's a few extra things you have to do. I'm going to show you guys I'll make another video when we do this. I couldn't make it now because we got it in with the cover already off. So we'll do a valve cover gasket change video. There's a couple little tricks on E90 you have to know, but it's not difficult. You can have it off in 30 minutes if you're not a total idiot. I don't know. There we are, guys. That's it. We'll see you very soon when we get the parts in. Thanks for watching.